me. And first off, I want to apologize for missing last Monday. And I'm not sure at this point, but I might have missed Wednesday also. I don't know, it's been super, super hot down here, like 3 digits almost every day. And I might have overextended myself. I mean, I just don't have the energy that I used to have, and I've got an issue, probably because I smoked for like, I don't know, 50 years. I have an issue where I lose my breath. So I can't get a lot done, and I ended up last week where the time that I would have been making videos, look at this, I love this. Thank you, Christine, I love that. Anyways, the time that I would have been making videos, I was either running errands or I started doing some cleaning, because it's amazing when you don't clean for a while how nasty things actually get. And then I was so tired. I just laid here and played games on my phone. Just like, I didn't even sit up. I just laid here basically and played games. So my apologies. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm only in my mid-60s, so I shouldn't be this exhausted all the time. On the other hand, I didn't do a whole lot of sleeping in my youth. I worked hard. You know, did the horse farm. Go for all I did pretty much by myself without much help from anybody else. So, you know, when things are being, you know, born, you're up all night. You still got to get up and milk everybody. You're taking cat naps. You're not, you know. So I feel like I'm probably making up now for the sleep that I missed out in the first 60 years of my life. Oh, you guys. Anyways. We're going to get back into our Bible. I got to look it up and see where I left off. And we're going to make a mask that Gracie from Gracie Lou Bargain Guru. I love that so much. Anyway, she sent me some masks, and this is one of them. It's from Esfolio. It's down there on the bottom. You might be able to see it. And this is a red beet mask from the Red Food line, and it is supposedly we're gonna do some soothing and calming. My face could use some soothing and calming right now. It's a little angry. It's always a little angry. And we also have nutrition and moisture. So these are all good things that my skin is just, you know, crying for. So hang tight. I'll be right back and get that mask out, because we are fixing to mask up. Whew, I'll tell you what, it already feels like my face already feels really like soothing. As soon as I put this on, it was like, oh, because I didn't do a mask all last, well, no. I didn't really, I might have done one, so I think my face really enjoys having a mask on a daily basis. I strive for daily, but it's usually more like 5 days a week. Okay, so I believe we're on chapter 30. I'm having some mask issues. Let's come on. Alright, there we go. Okay, chapter 30. Basically, Jacob thought he married Rachel, but he married Leah. And, you know, then he had to work for another 7 years to marry Rachel. And Leah has had several sons, and let me see, and she conceived again and bore a son, and she said, now will I praise the Lord. Therefore she called his name Judah and left bearing. Okay, on to chapter 30 in Genesis. And when Rachel saw that she bore Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister and said unto Jacob, give me children, or else I die. And Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel, and he said, am I in God's stead? Who hath withheld thee the fruit of the womb? Oh, so yeah, this is a sore subject between the two of them. And she said, behold my maid Bilhah, go in unto her, and she shall bear upon my knees, that I may also have children by her. And she gave him Bilhah, her handmaid, to wife, and Jacob went in unto her. And Bilhah conceived and bore Jacob a son. Rachel said, God hath judged me, and hath also heard my voice, and hath given me a son. Therefore she called his name Dan. I was not expecting that. Dan. And Bilhah, Rachel's maid, conceived again, and bore Jacob a second son. And Rachel said, with great wrestlings I have wrestled with my sister, and I have prevailed. And she called his name Naphtali. And when Leah saw that she had left bearing, she took Zilpah her maid, and gave her Jacob to wife. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bore Jacob a son. You know? Well, if you know, you know. And Leah said, a troop cometh, and she called his name Gad. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bore Jacob a second son. And Leah said, happy am I, for the daughters will call me blessed. And she called his name Asher. And Reuben went in the days of wheat harvest, and found mandrakes in the field, brought them unto his mother Leah. Then Rachel said to Leah, give me, I pray thee, of thy son's mandrakes. And she said unto her, is it a small matter that thou hast taken my husband? Wouldest thou take away my son's mandrakes also? And Rachel said, therefore he shall lie with thee tonight for thy son's mandrakes. Okay. I'm not even going there. Jacob came out of the field in the evening, and Leah went out to meet him and said, thou must come in unto me, for surely I have hired thee with my son's mandrakes. And he lay with her that night. Okay. And God hearkened unto Leah, and she conceived and bore Jacob the fifth son. And Leah said, God hath given me my hire, because I have given my maid to my husband. And she called his name Issachar. And Leah conceived again, and bore Jacob the sixth son. And Leah said, God hath endued me with a good dowry. Now will my husband dwell with me, because I have bore him 6 sons. And she called his name Zebulun. And afterwards she bore a daughter, and called her name Dinah. And God remembered Rachel, and God hearkened to her, and opened her womb. And she conceived, and bore a son, and said, God hath taken away my reproach. And she called his name Joseph, and said, the Lord shall add to me another son. And it came to pass, when Rachel had borne Joseph, that Jacob said unto Laban, send me away, that I may go unto mine own place and my own country. Give me my wives and my children, for whom I have served thee, and let me go. for thou knowest my service which I have done thee. And Laban said unto him, I pray thee, if I have found favor in thine eyes, tarry. For I have learned by experience that the Lord hath blessed me for thy sake. Ha ha! So Laban, he's a smart guy. And he said, appoint me my wages, and I will give it. And he said unto him, thou knowest how I have served thee, and how thy cattle was with me. For it was little which thou hast before I came, and is now increased into a multitude. And the Lord hath blessed thee since my coming. And now when shall I provide for mine own house also? And he said, what shall I give thee? And Jacob said, thou shalt not give me anything. If thou wilt do this thing for me, I will again feed and keep thy flock. I will pass through all thy flock today, removing from thence all the speckled and spotted cattle, and all the brown cattle among the sheep, and the spotted and speckled among the goats, and of such will be my hire. Evidently, speckles were not looked upon with favor. So shall my righteousness answer for me in time to come, when it shall come for my hire before my face. Every one that is not speckled and spotted among the goats, and brown among the sheep, that shall be counted stolen with me. That shall be counted stolen with me. Okay. And Laban said, behold, I would it might be according to thy word. And he removed that day the he-goats that were ring-staked and spotted, and all the she-goats that were speckled and spotted, and every one that had some white on it, and all the brown among the sheep, and gave them unto the hand of his sons. And he set 3 days' journey betwixt himself and Jacob. And Jacob fed the rest of Laban's stocks. Jacob took him rods of green poplar and of the hazel and chestnut tree, and pulled white stakes in them, and pilled, P-I-L-L-E-D, and pilled white stakes in them, and made the white appear which was in the rods. And he set the rods which he had pilled before the flocks in the gutters in the watering troughs, when the flocks should come to drink, that they should conceive when they came to drink. That's interesting. And the flocks conceived before the rods, and brought forth cattle ring-staked, speckled, and spotted. And Jacob did separate the lambs, and set the faces of the flocks towards the ring-straight, and all the brown in the flock of Laban, and he put his own flocks by themselves, and put them not unto Laban's cattle. And it came to pass, whensoever the stronger cattle did conceive, that Jacob laid the rods before the eyes of the cattle in the gutters, that they might conceive among the rods. But when the cattle were feeble, he put them not in. So the feebler were Laban's, and the stronger Jacob's. And the man increased exceedingly, and had much cattle, and maidservants, and menservants, and camels, and asses. Wow. Okay, 31 is really long, so we'll do that next week. I gotta tell you, I don't know, I was of the opinion, you know, until you actually read the Bible, I guess, you don't get it. But I kind of thought that all these people in the Bible that are supposedly like holy, I don't know, I kind of thought that they were good guys, but here is Laban giving Jacob, after 7 years of toil, Leah instead of Rachel. So, 14 years total, and he finally gets Rachel, who is his true love. Leah is unloved. She has a lot of sons, and so now her sister Rachel, whom it doesn't even say if they were close from the beginning or not, but even if they were, they're not now, because Rachel is jealous because she's, spitting out sons like crazy, and Rachel's not doing anything. And Jacob, he's just having him a good old time. But then when Jacob says, hey, I think it's about time for me to take my leave, I've done what I came here to do and helped you out immensely. And Laban says, yes, you definitely have, and I know that one of the reasons that God has been good to me is because you're in God's favor, so, and then when he goes to take, I'm going to take all the spotted, all the, spotted and speckled and all the animals that are not solid, and I'll leave you all the solid ones. And then somehow through the poplar that he pilled, Pilled, he made it so that the speckled and the animals that he was taking were stronger, had more, more babies, passed on, had good genes, and somehow he made it so that the solid ones that he left with Laban were less, even though they had the coat color that was preferred, they were just not the same quality in general. And I don't know, is this payback for making me work for you for 14 years instead of 7 years, and now I have 2 wives instead of my true love, and my true love is angry all the time because her sister is having sons, so we're arguing about that, and I mean, as far as Jacob is concerned, I'm thinking he's kind of blaming this on Laban for pushing off the first wife. And Laban probably should have said from the beginning, no, I cannot give you Rachel's hand until Leah is wed. I mean, if he'd have said that from the beginning, things may have turned out a whole lot differently. Because I kind of feel like in order to get Rachel, he would have wed them both. But he probably wouldn't have stayed for 14 years. Anyways, guys, Genesis chapter 30. Whoop! Time to take this off. You know what? I think I'm going to leave it on for a little bit because it just feels so nice. And until next time, I hope you wake up dancing, wake up dancing, boom, boom, wake up dancing. Every single day. Bye-bye.